Peter's just still, I'll wait for the whistle. Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call the regular Borough Council meeting of January 25th, 2021 to order. This meeting has been properly advertised in the Home News Tribune of January 13th, 2021, according to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Due to COVID-19, this meeting is being held by means of use of electronic communications equipment via online video conference provided by Zoom. May I have a roll call, please?
Council President Farkas?
Here.
Councilman Ligotti?
Here.
Councilwoman Neubauer?
Here.
Councilman O'Donnell?
Here.
Councilman Peretti?
Here.
And Councilman Zambrana?
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Next, we will have a moment of silence, followed by a salute to our flag. So we'll start with the moment of silence, please. And Mimi has a flag.
I do.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from the December 14th, 2020 and January 4th, 2021. So I'll ask for any comments or corrections and a motion.
Move that the minutes be approved as typed as written.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Ligotti, second by Councilwoman Neubauer. Any comments regarding the minutes?
Are they being voted on together or separately?
Together.
Together.
So Councilwoman O'Donnell, I would ask that you abstain since you can't.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
You were ahead of me.
Okay. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas?
Aye.
Councilman Ligotti?
Aye.
Councilwoman Neubauer?
Aye.
Councilman O'Donnell?
Abstain.
Did you want to abstain on both or just one of the dates?
It's a singular vote, so she's got to abstain.
All right. Councilman Peretti?
Aye.
And Councilman Zambrana?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to comments from the audience on resolutions. If any member of the public wishes to speak on any of the resolutions, please identify yourself to the clerk and say your name and address for the record. These comments are limited to resolutions listed on the agenda. Note, the resolutions are now available on the website bundled behind the agenda, so you can see them in their entirety prior to the meeting. So please raise your hand or follow the instructions of the clerk if you have any comments.
If anyone has any comments, they would have the option to demute themselves and identify they'd like to speak at this time regarding resolutions only. I don't see anyone wishing to speak.
All right, seeing none, we will move on to bills and claims. Will the clerk please read by title only, Bill Resolution 48-2021.
Authorizing the payment of bills, claims, and statements against the Borough of Milltown in the total amount of $2,566,599.69.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Move that this resolution be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Council President Farkas, second by Councilman Peretti. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman President Farkas?
Aye.
Councilman Ligotti?
Aye.
Councilwoman Neubauer?
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Aye.
Councilman Peretti?
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to introduction of resolutions. When voting on resolutions, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and having been reviewed by the Borough Council will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Does anyone have any resolution that they would like to pull from the consent agenda this evening? Seeing none, there being no request to pull any resolutions, will the clerk please read the consent resolution?
Whereas pursuant to the rules of council, the council may establish a consent agenda for any regular or special meeting. And whereas the Borough Clerk has posted a consent agenda for this evening, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Milltown, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, that the consent agenda previously prepared by the Borough Clerk be approved without the necessity of having the individual resolutions read by the Borough Clerk.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Make a motion this resolution be adopted.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Legati, second by Councilwoman Newbauer. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas,
Aye.
Councilman Legati,
Aye.
Councilwoman Newbauer,
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell,
Aye.
Councilman Peretti,
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Motion carries to approve resolutions 49 through 56.
Thank you. Now we will move on to council reports. First up is the Department of Finance, Administration, and Planning, Councilman Phil Zambrana.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Today, late this afternoon, after reaching out to our order of record for the year 2019, we did find out that final audit documents were shared with our order of record of 2020, and that audit documents, so we should have a final audit, I should say, by February 12th. With that saying that, we have a finance meeting, the first one of the year, scheduled for early next week. Not sure whether it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but that will be our first one as we look to finalize a budget for 2021. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the Department of Public Safety, Councilman Nick Legati.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to start off with my first report is from the Milltown Police Department, from Chief Brian Kennelly. Happy New Year to everyone. Between December 8th, 2020 and January 15th, 2021, police have responded to 1,364 calls for service. During this period, police conducted 194 radar details in numerous locations. Police made 8 arrests, which include drug charges, assault, burglary, theft, and possession of a firearm. Police responded to 13 motor vehicle accidents during this time, which involved only minor injuries. The Milltown Police Department remains in compliance with all mandated training, testing, and directives set forth by the State of New Jersey Attorney General's Office and the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office. We look forward to maintaining our high accreditation standards through 2020 and beyond. The Milltown Police Department reminds residents that as per the Borough Ordinance 2015-1412, vehicles must be removed from roadways once snow covers the street. Furthermore, throwing snow back into the roadway is not only dangerous and is inconsiderate, but is also prohibited by Borough Ordinance. We appreciate your cooperation in these matters and assist with more follow-through snow removal by our Public Works Department and maintain safer streets to our residents. Please continue to report suspicious activity, traffic concerns, and non-emergent type calls to 732-828-1100. Police will determine a necessary response. Walk-in complaints are discouraged due to COVID-19 concerns and restrictions. Emergency and life-threatening calls use 911. Residents are reminded to report any concerns and/or complaints by using the official borough website or by calling the Milltown Police Department directly. The Milltown Police Department does not monitor and will not react, reply, or respond to comments or complaints posted on any third-party social media sites. Happy and safe 2020, Chief Brian Kennelly. Madam Mayor, my next report would be a short COVID-19 update. All governor's executive orders are still in effect. Please wear masks whenever possible in public. Social distance while in public. To date, there are 6 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours for a total of 364 reported cases, 356 reported cases in Milltown. Please check the county website for updated information. Strolling right into our senior center remains closed at this time. Any questions, please contact the senior center director, Debbie Cuddy, 732-296-0681. In a brief conversation with the police chief today, the Office of Emergency Management coordinator is working on his first meeting for 2020, something in the beginning or mid-February. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Nick. Actually, I'll have an update in my mayor's report. I got some information about COVID vaccine, so I'll talk about that. Next, we have the Department of Utilities, Council President Randy Farkas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Along with all daily pump checks, work orders, and meter rereads, the Water Department has the following report. Daily markouts are being done, as well as training on how to do them. The department has begun changing out aging water meters for new meters. This will be ongoing until complete. The department had a sewer issue and provided an opportunity for training on all machines as the issue was corrected. The department experienced a water main break on Riders Lane about 2 weeks ago. The supervisor attended a meeting to discuss locating the forced sewer main that runs under Route 1. This location should commence next week. Please check channel 15 and milltownnj.org for water department updates. And additionally, reorganization meetings were held this month, for the Planning Board and the Ford Avenue Redevelopment Agency for the year 2021. That concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the Department of Environmental Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Margaret O'Donnell.
Hi. We skipped Anna. Hi.
Oh, sorry, Anna. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, go first, Margaret.
Go ahead, Margaret.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
So my first report comes from the Library Board, which meets on the second Tuesdays, and the next meeting will be on February 9th. It was essentially a reorganization meeting, but some of the agenda items that were shared were that they're very happy with the level of circulation, considering that the building is closed for browsing. They highlighted the kids program and the book club as being very successful. They are seeking bids to redo the roof because they have an opportunity to apply for a 50% grant. They believe that the roof on each part of the building, that part that was built in the 70s, the part that was built in the 80s, are original to the building. The Friends of the Library continue to sell calendars now and hope to do an outdoor book sale in the spring. There will be official meeting minutes that people can look at in more detail, but those are some highlights. The Board of Health and the Environmental Commission will have reorganization meetings this week. Board of Health meets on the 4th Tuesday of each month, and the Environmental Commission on the 4th Wednesday of each month. One other thing that I wanted to note is that on the 14th, I represented the Borough Council at the Middlesex County Open House, which was essentially talking about long-term planning for the county. They referred to it as Destination 2040. I can share more with anyone who's interested, but I don't want to go into painful detail. But it was a chance to talk about our priorities and vision as we look ahead. And I definitely brought up our water, sewer infrastructure issues. The county is working with the Rutgers Blaustein School, and there are some professional planners involved. Also wanted to let the residents know that you're not really official when you take the oath of office. You're official when you make the website. So I'm now on the Borough website, and I'm available for virtual office hours by appointment. My contact information is there. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Okay, now coming back to the Department of Public Works and Recycling, Councilwoman Anna Neubauer.
All right, good evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor. To start, I will do the DPW report. Along with all curbside collections, the DPW has the following to report for this month. All holiday decorations have been taken down and stored until next holiday season. Leaf cleanup has been completed at Albert Avenue Park, Pardon Avenue Tennis Courts, the Little League Field, Borough Park, and inside the Borough Pool area. Inside fence repair at the Borough Pool has taken place, as well as replacing the winter covering on the slide. Overhanging branches at the Pardon tennis courts have been trimmed and removed where necessary in anticipation for the spring season. Fall hole repair has taken place and will be ongoing throughout the winter season. Tree pruning at the Milltown Seniors has taken place, and tree pruning and removal has taken place at the Schwunderman cabin, as well as property cleanup. This will be ongoing throughout the winter. The clerk's office has been painted. CDL driver training has taken place with one of our new employees. And for any updates, please check channel 15 and milltownnj.org for DPW updates. As for the green team, we met Wednesday. We met last Wednesday, and we had our reorganization meeting, and Mike Shirkian was elected by the group as the chair, and Dorian Kerber as the secretary. We also, during the reorg, after we talked about, we had a sustainable jersey application due on January 15th, and we were just talking about some of the action items we had to follow up on. So that was submitted on the 15th, and hopefully we hear back good news from Sustainable Jersey by next month. The cable TV committee has not met yet for our reorg, and we will get something for that on the books as soon as we can. And that's all I have to share tonight.
Great, thank you. Next, we'll go to the Department of Recreation, Councilman James Peretti.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To start with the recreation report, for SAC, so currently before and after school childcare is still suspended at this time. We do plan on reevaluating a possible opening in March, but we will look into that at that time. For recreation, due to COVID-19 restrictions, currently all winter programs, adult and youth, are still suspended. But please look forward for the spring soccer and spring tennis registration going to be posted towards the end of February. We'll update with more details when registration is open. The Recreation Department is also now accepting employment applications for seasonal summer employment at the Milltown Borough Pool, Albert Avenue Summer Rec Camp, and the Summer SAC program. Please note that all applications can be filled out online and submitted via email to the Borough. Due to the pandemic, there will be no employment applications available in person at the Recreation Department. All applications must be submitted electronically to the Recreation Department or to the Borough Clerk's office. Finally, all applications are due by Friday, February 19th, and we thank you all for your cooperation. Friday, February 5th is Go Red for Women's Day. Due to COVID-19, we will not be offering our annual bagel breakfast for the residents. However, we invite you to still support a great cause by wearing red to show your support to women with heart disease and to continue the initiative to inform people about heart health. Milltown Recreation, together with the Milltown Senior Center, are partnering this year for Valentine's Day. We invite all Milltown children residents to connect with our senior community by creating Valentine's Day cards for them. All cards can be dropped off to the Valentine's mailbox located outside the police entrance at the Milltown Borough Hall. All cards must be received by this Friday, January 29th. Please note that we are still accepting non-perishable food donations for our Milltown neighbors in need, as well as for the Middlesex County Food Bank, which also supports Milltown residents. You may drop items off at Borough Hall and place them in the green bins in the hallway of the main entrance during normal business hours. Please remember masks are required when you enter the building. Please do not leave food in the police entrance vestibule. We thank everyone for their patience during this time and continue to pray for everyone's safety and well-being. And for my Recreation Advisory Committee report, we had our first meeting of the year on the 20th, and we just had a brief introduction to everyone new to the committee, as well as going over the role of the Recreation Advisory Committee. We discussed some of our goals and objectives for this year, mainly being about around communication and community engagement, as well as having some new program ideas to try to support getting a return to normalcy, but also taking advantage of this time to plan new events that maybe we can really help support the residents in town with kind of new non-traditional ideas. So I will send Mimi the minutes for that report and look forward to our February meeting where we can keep expanding on those ideas. But that concludes my reports. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, James. Next, we will move on to our administrator report. Jeanette Larison.
I have no report tonight, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to our engineer report. Mike McClellan. You're on mute, Mike. Looking very official there in your long conference table. There you go.
Sorry about that. Anyway, just three very short items tonight. First, we continue to work on the DEP application for the corrosion control inhibitor.
I'm here.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Recent testing obtained throughout the borough indicated no improvement in lead readings at the designated locations tested. Number two, work on Tracy Drive is currently delayed, obviously due to winter weather conditions. And lastly, survey and dice mapping on Hague Avenue has commenced as directed by the administrator. Available for any questions, obviously, for your closed session, to the extent you need our services. That's all we have now.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike about any of that? No. Okay. Next, we will move on to our borough attorney report, Mr. Peter Vignola.
Just one thing, Madam Mayor, as you are aware, last Friday we had a meeting with the state representative concerning the borough's designation as a town center by the State Planning Commission. Currently, the borough's designation is set to expire. It has been extended due to the COVID emergency and has a expiration date based upon when the state of emergency is finally over. But during the meeting, we went through what steps the borough would need to take in order to continue that designation and whether or not, from a cost-benefit analysis, it would be worth it to the borough. Currently, what the borough planner, John Barry, is going to do is come up with some preliminary numbers to see what an initial cost would be for the borough to go through the first step in the process and see whether or not it would be beneficial to the borough. There is some guidance with respect to what benefits would be afforded to the borough by having that designation. I'm still waiting on receiving that. I haven't gotten it yet, but I will share that with you and the council members once I get that and Mr. Barry's estimate, and then you can decide whether or not you think it might be beneficial to keep that designation moving forward. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for our borough attorney? Okay. None. We will move on to the mayor's report. So as I said, I received some information about COVID vaccines from Middlesex County. So I'm just going to go ahead and read these. For the most up-to-date COVID-19 information in Middlesex County, including scheduling for vaccines and testing, case numbers, health information, helpful resources, and more, please visit www.middlesexcountynj.gov/COVID-19, which is linked on our website. But what I wanted to point out is people who cannot register online or have more detailed questions can be directed to the local call center, which is 732-745-3100. That's 732-745-3100. New Jersey has launched its statewide vaccine scheduling system to help all potential vaccine recipients identify nearby vaccine distribution sites and schedule an appointment. This scheduling system is also available through the Middlesex County website. All residents should pre-register to receive the vaccine through this scheduling system as soon as possible. The state has developed a consumer call center, which actually went live today. It's a state vaccine hotline, which is open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that number is 855-568-0545. That's 855-568-0545. Or for any general COVID questions, you can just dial NJ 211. And so I encourage you to go online. There's a lot of information about the vaccine rollout, the phases. If you can't go online, please call those numbers that I gave you. The second thing I just wanted to go over quickly, hold on one second, is a few things that have come to my attention lately, and I just wanted to make a couple things clear because I was looking through some quotes and I thought this one was very apropos of our new year. And it says, new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. So I know that change is difficult. I know that sometimes certainly comes to me when things change or things are a little bit different and people have concerns about that. However, one of the things that we're doing as a team with the borough is to try and come up with processes and ways to deal with some things that maybe hadn't been optimal, and we're looking to do that. And so with that, we are trying to be efficient, and also some of the guidelines that we give are for the people's safety. And so over the course of the last 2 months, I've encountered a handful, at least a half a dozen things that have come to me. Well, it's not this way, or, in years past, people used to look the other way. And my answer to that is, we need to be fair for everyone, all the residents in Milltown. There's a process for things, and what I can assure you is the reason that we have these processes here so that it's the same for whether it's me or my family or my neighbors or anyone. So, I wanted to make that clear and also say that the reason that we do this too is to eventually help you, the taxpayers, to have an efficient system. And I'm going to give you an example of how in the past we have had an issue where when I was on council, asked several times regarding the plans for the DPW and firehouse. And it wasn't out in the open. We had some questions about it. There were people that were hired to do that. And the reason I bring it up is not to air the borough's dirty laundry, but to say that now we have come across the fact that it's done, yet no bathroom. There is one bathroom in the DPW. There are 6 bathrooms in the firehouse that have no heat. So, it wasn't done out in the open. It was sort of something that was done without the full cooperation of the council. And so the reason that we're going to do things by process is to make sure that things like that don't happen again. That it should be everyone participating and doing things above board and right from the beginning, and try and get it right off the bat. So I wanted to bring that up because I know change is difficult, and but everything that we do, whether it be through the council or the planning board or whatever, will be addressed with the public's full knowledge. So with that, I will conclude my mayor comments, and I will go on to old business. Does any member of the council have any old business they wish to bring before us this evening?
Madam Mayor, I'm not sure exactly if it's old business, but it's a correction to my report. I misspoke. For the Valentine's Day cards for the seniors, which I do encourage everyone in the town to participate in, is not this Friday. It's next Friday, February 5th is the due date. So plenty of time for people to participate. I just want to make sure people didn't feel rushed. So it's February 5th is the due date.
Great. Thank you, James. No, it's a good idea. Anyone else? Okay, then does any member of the council have any new business they'd like to bring up this evening? Seeing none, I will move on to audience comments. The public comment of our meeting is to allow the public to bring the council's attention their concerns or comments. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished. It should be further noted that public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the appropriate office during regular business hours or with a member of council during their meeting times. Please state your name and address for the record when you follow the instructions of the clerk to speak. So if you want
And I can announce that anyone who, you all have the ability to demute yourself and speak if you'd like to identify yourself to speak at the public session. If not, it doesn't appear that anybody wishes to speak, Mayor.
Okay, seeing none, I will close audience comments. And now I will read the fact that we have an executive session, a resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Milltown, authorizing the discussion of matters in a closed session pursuant to the statutory exclusions of NJSA 10-412. Do I do the roll now, or Peter, are you speaking first about this?
You're going to need someone to make a motion to adopt the resolution.
May I have a motion to adopt this resolution?
Move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
I have a motion by Council President Farkas, second by Councilman Peretti. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas.
Aye.
Councilman Dixon. My apology. Councilman Ligotti.
I don't know if I want to say aye now.
No.
Aye.
Councilwoman Neubauer.
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell.
Aye.
Councilman Peretti.
Aye.
Councilman Zambrano.
Aye.
Okay, so now I will say the Borough Council will be entering an executive session. The public will be excluded from this portion of the meeting to permit the council to consider matters appropriate for discussion in such a session. The Borough Council will convene in private. At this time, I'd like to defer to our attorney, Peter Vignolo, for an explanation of the subject matter to be discussed and, for the record, if there will be any action taken.
The topic of discussion will be pending litigation, and there will be no action when the council comes out of closed session.
Okay, so Mimi, take it away.
At this time, as we go into the closed session, we will be using this meeting ID. So I will ask that each of the residents remove themselves so that I don't have to, but this would be the end of the portion where you could be in attendance.
Okay, thanks for joining.
Us, you'll need to
Thank
turn
you.
off your recording and